In today's episode, biophilic lighting.
When people talk about biophilic interiors today, it often sounds like a trend. You see greenery everywhere, natural textures, earth tones, organic shapes, a few plants in the corner, maybe some timber slats and a stone countertop. And suddenly, the project is called biophilic. But real biophilic design is much deeper than aesthetics. And I think this is where the conversation becomes important. Because trends come and go very quickly, especially in interiors. A few years ago, everything was industrial, then came ultra minimalism, then beige everything, then curved furniture, now biophilia. But interiors are not social media posts, they are environments where people actually live, work, recover, think, sleep, connect. And unlike trends, interiors are supposed to last. Good interiors should age well emotionally, physiologically, and visually. So, before applying any trend, especially something as complex as biophilic design, we need to understand the principles behind it. Not just the aesthetic language, the human reason behind it. Biophilia, in its essence, is about the innate human connection to nature. It's about understanding that human beings evolved under natural light cycles, natural materials, changing skies, rhythms of brightness and darkness, movement, temperature variation, seasonality. For thousands of years, our biology adapted to natural environmental conditions. And then suddenly, in modern urban life, we disconnected from most of them. We spend almost all of our time indoors, under static lighting, artificial temperatures, artificial schedules, artificial brightness levels. So biophilic design is not about simply bringing nature inside. It's about restoring some degree of environmental coherence between the human body and the space we inhabit. And this is exactly why lighting becomes one of the most important elements in biophilic interiors. Not decoration, not accessories, lighting is foundational. Because light is not only visual, light is biological. And I think this is one of the biggest misunderstandings in contemporary interiors. Most people still think lighting is mainly about visibility, or aesthetics, or mood. But lighting directly affects circadian rhythms, hormonal regulation, alertness, relaxation, cognitive performance, sleep quality, and perception of space. In many ways, light is one of the invisible architects of human experience. And when we talk about biophilic interiors, we cannot ignore that. You can have the most beautiful natural materials in the world: stone, wood, linen, plants. But if the lighting is completely disconnected from human physiology, the space still feels wrong. Maybe subtly wrong, but wrong. And interestingly, people often feel this before they intellectually understand it. They might say something like, "I don't feel comfortable here. This space feels cold. I feel tired here. I can't relax here." Sometimes the issue is not the furniture, not the layout, not the architecture. Sometimes it's simply the light. And biophilic lighting is not necessarily about making interiors darker or warmer. That's another misconception. Biophilic lighting is not a visual style, it's an environmental strategy. It's about understanding how natural light behaves and translating some of those principles into the built environment. Natural light is dynamic. It changes color temperature throughout the day. It changes angle, intensity, contrast, movement, shadow behavior. Morning light is different from afternoon light. Winter light is different from summer light. North light feels different from west light. Nature is never static, but most interiors are, especially commercial interiors. Uniform ceiling grids, uniform brightness, uniform color temperature, uniform illumination. Perfectly controlled, but physiologically unnatural. And humans subconsciously perceive that artificial consistency. So one of the most important things in biophilic lighting design is introducing variation. Not chaos, not inconsistency, but calibrated variation. This can happen through layered lighting, indirect illumination, control contrast, warmer evening scenes, dim to warm systems, dynamic white technology, material reflectance, shadow composition. Even darkness becomes important. Because biophilic design is not about maximum illumination. Nature itself is full of gradients, transitions, softness, depth.
Stay tuned for the next episode. This series is brought to you by Studio Fondelibel.